Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading with these four objects we have here. So I figured to do crystals rather than decks, just to kind of let your intuition visually guide you and not really care about what deck it is that I pick, or really just let the energy of the crystal connect with you and guide you somewhere. So, item number one we have here. To be honest, I'm not even 100% sure what kind of crystal it is. I think it's just a agate slice. But I got it from a friend and it didn't have a description, but it's kind of purple in color and very shiny. So this is crystal number one. Crystal number two is a tourmalated quartz. There's little pieces of black tourmaline inside of it. Crystal number three is citrine. I love this crystal. It's one of my favorites. The color is just gorgeous. I don't even care if it's dyed that color. It looks fantastic. And crystal number four, selenite. Now I am filming in daylight, so pardon any noises you hear. Cats are fully up and my neighbors are too, so hopefully there won't be too much of a disturbance there. Before we start, I'm going to go ahead and do a few things just to kind of put us in that right frame of mind. And first thing I'm going to do is light a working candle. What I mean by working candle is when you do any kind of spell or ritual, you want to have a candle that is your designated candle for initiating other lightings, or really that's your kind of your helper. And this is going to be it. Typically it's a white candle and doesn't have a scent. This one I don't think has a scent, but nope, it does have a scent. Lavender and chamomile. But this one's just going to be to kind of open our better judgment and wisdom in these readings, and to kind of help us use our intuition a little bit more wisely. If I can get it to light, that is. Right. So if you guys can see this here, this is kind of my altar space that I normally use. I'm not showing my current altar configuration. This is just for this video here. So, second thing we're going to do is I'm going to smudge a little bit with some sage. I needed to sage my house today anyhow. It's just kind of overdue. And I've been having a little weird energy lately in here, just kind of some negative vibes kind of pulling up a little bit here and there. So I figured let's kind of get rid of that crap together. Oops. Now I typically do this counterclockwise, because when you're going counterclockwise, that removes things. If you want to add something to a spell or to your energy, you go clockwise. Now I'm just going to kind of blow some on the cards. On the crystals. And then smudge it out. I have a little abalone shell that I use for smudging things. Just going to put this over here, just in case it's still a little lit. And hopefully that doesn't set off my smoke detectors. Now, second thing I'm going to do is light some Palo Santo. The reason I like Palo Santo with sage is sage just kind of kills any energy in the air. It's not so much a negative energy removal as a just general energy removal. So it's kind of like when you wash your hair. You shampoo it to clean it, you condition it to soften it and make sure you don't take all the good stuff out. That's what you do with Palo Santo. It's kind of like spiritual conditioner. I'm going to do this clockwise to invite good vibes and good energy. Palo Santo I don't smudge completely out. I kind of let it sit in my bowl and just kind of keep bringing those good vibes in. It'll sometimes go out on its own. If not, I can smudge it a little later. Alright, so now that we are all prepared for this, let's go ahead and start kind of getting the cards read, and I'll link down below the times for whichever one you picked. So, reading 1, reading 2, reading 3, and reading 4. Alright, be right back. Alright, so now we're going to do reading number 1, and it's kind of the mystery stone, like I said earlier. So if you picked mystery stone, here's your reading. This reading is going to be about destiny. There we go. So, let's actually get a good look at this card. It's kind of a, looks very, like, spirit guide related. But the Norns of Fate are kind of like the writing on the wall. And this is going to be kind of just showing us what fate has in store for us in this reading. And don't worry, it's not as bad as it looks. Now, what this is kind of signifying is that the Tower here, being the first card, we're kind of entrapped a little bit and not necessarily in a good place in this reading. So I think you're going through some hardships. And for good reason. I mean, not the reason that you specifically willed it to be that way, but with reason as far as it's trying to teach you a lesson and build up some strengths. The Tower actually can be a positive card. If we're going through a rough time and we're having a hard time kind of understanding why things are so painful, Tower is a good reminder that you kind of get that pain from dark places, and sometimes pain can be your strongest ally. If you learn to acknowledge pain and harness it and learn things from pain in life, especially emotional pain, it really can teach you a lot. Now, what it's teaching us is to be a no-nonsense type person, and when we start recognizing signs of something sinister, to cut it out and to just get it out of our lives. So sometimes we have to go through really rough and dark times in order for us to understand how to deal with them in the future. Because sometimes we've placed ourselves there, whether by accident or on purpose. But this is a reading to tell us, hey, this is teaching you how to deal with not optimal or very destructive situations. So just roll with it, because Ace of Cups is at the end of the tunnel. So fate is kind of putting things in our lives to test and challenge us, to make sure that the lessons we're learning do serve a better purpose. And maybe opening ourselves up to new opportunities and possibly even new relationships. So, if you're going through some nasty times, don't worry. This is just teaching you how to deal with that. This is your ancestors, your spirit guides, the universe just kind of teaching you how to strengthen yourself and how to really make better judgment calls and making sure you're making the right decisions for yourself down the road. So don't stress too much of the details. Just roll with it. And know everything is for a good reason, and there is some good coming. It's kind of like they used to say, everything gets better with time. Yeah, you learn lessons better with time. If you really learn your lessons and really study them as much as possible, that's how you can get better with time. So I hope this reading finds you well. And please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, give me any feedback on here. I always like to know how somebody took my reading as well, so feel free to drop a comment just telling me how it sat with you and maybe even what came of it, just for my own curiosity. Alright, for those of us who picked crystal number 2, here's our reading. Put this over here. It's kind of tiny. Alright. This is about release. And releasing pain that others have inflicted on us. And quickly. Because in this reading, not knowing how to release pain is kind of preventing us from fully realizing joy. If we've been wronged in the past, we need to find a way to forgive those people that have really stuck a knife in it. And we need to kind of get on about it. This card is all about movement and with very swift pace and taking actions. So I'd invite you to forgive somebody who's really done you wrong in the past. And if you're comfortable enough to, verbally communicate it to them if you can. Just get it off your chest and out of your soul, because Nine of Cups here is telling us that it's time to kind of celebrate our achievements. But I don't think we can really do that if we haven't really forgiven the people that have wronged us or caused us distress. Letting go of the daggers that people have placed inside of us and letting them back into the universe is really the only way to ever be free of that pain. If you think about it, who walks around with a knife in their side? Some really unhappy bastard, that's who. Don't be an unhappy bastard. Be a happy bastard. Those are the best kinds of bastards. And let's be frank, we're all kind of bastards in our own right. But at least lovable bastards. I hope this reading finds you well. I hope you take some kind of information away from this to be useful. I, for one, have forgiven a lot of people recently in my life that have done me wrong, professionally or personally, just to kind of release that baggage. You really have to sometimes, or else you're walking around with somebody else's baggage that you never invited in the first place. So, cut the cords, let go of it, make peace with it. This next reading is for people who picked crystal number 3. The Citrine. It's one of my favorite crystals. Let's see what we got. Currency. Take a look at this card. Citrine actually gravitating towards something about money. Who knew? And it's kind of going to be a career level reading or finances level reading. Just kind of letting us know how to use our power, when to use it, how to harness it, how to make it work for us, whether that's your money, your time, your energy. Let's use it a little bit more efficiently. Ooh, we got 8 of Wands. Sister of Swords, or Wind. And 8 of Water. So, let's talk about using our energy, our money, and our wisdom, all of our facilities, or all of our powers that we have inside of us a little bit more efficiently. And specifically, acting with a sense of urgency definitely will help us out. I think when we let things linger, when we let things grow in our minds, when we let harsh words sit out there, they have more of an impact than they should. So, being more decisive and more fast in our approach can help us be a little bit better utilized. And kind of figuring out where to use it and how is the key here. So trying to learn a little bit about how you can make those decisions or better judgment calls. I see in this card we don't really know sometimes if we're doing the right thing or not. So, if you let it linger, that concern is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. So take action, even if it feels like you're up against the odds. Trust your gut. Your gut and your mind are somewhat connected. The Page of Swords, or Sister of Wind in this case, is all about fighting against all odds. When you're outnumbered, move quickly. Let your gut guide you. Wow. Connect your head to your soul. When something says move fast, move fast. Now learn to let you trust your instincts. And it'll guide you to somewhere a little bit more peaceful. Sometimes the only real way to get out of a sticky situation is to fight your way out of it, and fast. So if we're not in the job we're liking, get busy looking for a new one. It's better to be inundated with opportunities than boredom or depression. So get moving. Find yourself, wow, I can't talk today. Find yourself a calm place. And fast. Don't waffle. Waffles are for breakfast. Not how to live a life. I hope everyone finds this reading well. It picked crystal number 3. And has a good evening, and let me know what you think of this reading or how it applies, and let me know if anything comes of it as well. Good night. Last but certainly not least is crystal number 4. Woogity, woogity, woogity. And that is Selenite. Now, Selenite is a very healing crystal. Very gentle, purifying, and in some cases even energizing crystal. So I picked the Fountain Tarot for this. Let's go ahead and get that one out of the way, and let's see what we have here. Ooh. The Volva strikes again. I kind of love this card. It's a kind of a card to search for your own curiosities, and reminds you that the secrets of life are always very well hidden, and you never find them until you try to discover them. So this reading is going to be about discovering that unknown and mainly how to deal with change. Now, what we're dealing with here is the Death card reversed, which typically means that there's something kind of nagging at you, and something that is kind of clawing its way into existence and maybe pushing something else out of the way. And High Priestess is kind of someone who thinks they know everything about everything. Very tapped into their environment, tapped into their surroundings, tapped into their spirituality. They understand the duality of nature. They're kind of, I've seen it all type thing. I know it all. But they do know there's room for improvement. And that sometimes when things tell us they're ready to be discovered or ready to be unveiled, to use our past experiences and our knowledge of things around us to fight being stuck in our ruts. Because I think sometimes when something wants to come into existence, that makes us uncomfortable or makes us fearful that what's in front of us, we kind of get scared and don't really go after it. So what we're saying here is when something new inspires curiosity. Take what you know and follow it. It'll give you something new to look forward to, or even to use. Like a new skill set. If you're feeling stuck, or jaded, or grumpy cat, find a new opportunity to be curious again. Discover something new. It'll take you where you want to go. And don't worry about what's out there in front of you, waiting for you. Half the time it's made up by your own mind. It's a survival mechanism. It tells us, be careful when you jump. There might be rocks down there. But if you use your eyes and discover there's no rocks down there, you can jump safely. I hope this reading finds you well. Please comment below and let me know your thoughts on this reading and even anything that came out of it. And also, I do love critique, as long as you're nice about it. I can take harsh criticism. Just don't be a douchebag. Have a good night, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. It's my afternoon here. I just felt like it was a nice time to do a reading, and well, I still have this beautiful altar space here.